Hi friends, let's create a database application to fetch the records from the database. So we'll create a database application, new project. Let's give this as practical number 7. Now meanwhile, we'll just create a table in the database. So I'll just create a database. Here let's add a table. Let's create a student table. And let's take this as contact number. Let's give this as primary key. Let's save this with the table name student. Now we'll insert some records here. Just refresh it. Just add some records. Let's say student ID 1001, student name Zachary, say contact number. Two Smith. Okay. 103. So we have inserted some records. So what we want, we have to just fetch this record, a specific record. If I'll just enter a student ID, it should display all the details. So let's come back to your application. So here, first of all, I'll add one more project here in the solution. So just create a new project. It should be a DLL application. So let's create a DLL first. So here in Windows, you have to just create a DLL. I'm creating a student DLL. Now you'll see here there are two projects. One is my DLL application and one is my application, web application. So here just rename this class to, let's say I'm giving one my connection class. Okay, connection class. So here I'll just define my all connections. So I need to use some namespaces here. System.data. System.data SQL client. So I can declare now the objects of this classes, like connection class. I'm just declaring this, initializing it to null. I want command. Let's create a separate connection class only. I'll just create one method also, public void get connection and con equals to new SQL. Instantiate this SQL connection with the connection string. So you'll get this connection string from tools, connect to database. Just provide the connection. So give the server name select your database you have created. My database name was SNCA, just test connection. Okay, you'll see the connection is added here. Just right click it, the properties, just copy this connection string and paste it here, and just put the double slash here. So this is my connection class. Now I can create n number of classes in my student DLL. Let's create a separate class for, just add one class in student DLL. That will be a simple student class where I can write my all logic. So this is my student class. Let's keep this as public. Now here I can define my functions with public. So before that, I think there is no need to create a student class right now because we have to just fetch the records. So better we'll use connection class over there in your application. So come back to your this page, ASPX page in your web application. Now you can design your form here. Just remove all this. You can design your form. Take the table, here I'm adding tr and one more td. So in the second td here, first of all I'll take enter student ID. So in the second TD we'll take a text boxes. So give this name as txt student ID. Or there is no need of this td also. You can just directly type the student ID and you'll get the student name. So next you can write here txt student name. Here you can fetch the student address. Here you can fetch the student contact. And one more td will take for search button. So here I'll take one search button. Repeat here, search. And just align it to center. First see the design view. So we have this type of form. When I'll enter this student ID, you'll have to fetch the records. Now come back to your table. Here I can write a procedure to fetch the record. So in programmability you can add new stored procedure. So just remove this. So create procedure. Create procedure sp search student. Here pass the parameter. Only we need to pass the parameter as student ID. Its data type is numeric, and here you can just mention the query. Begin and select. So we have to fetch student name, comma student name, then address, then contact from student, where student ID equals to @ student ID. So this is my details that we have to fetch. Now this is the 0th index, this is the first, and this is the second index of data reader that we are going to use. Let's execute this procedure. So contact, it is contact number, so let's change it to contact number. So execute this, so you'll see the procedure is completed. Now when you'll refresh this particular procedure, you'll find the procedure created. Come back to your code. Now in this default.tscx, when I'll click on the search button, it should display the details. Now once you have created the DLL, like for example you have created this DLL, we have to build that DLL because my connection class is there, so I need to use this DLL in my application. So here you need to just add the reference. So we have to just add the reference here and reference of the DLL. So just click OK. So once you are importing that DLL, it means you can access the classes and methods of that particular DLL. So using student DLL. Now we have to use some reader here, so that's why we need to use some namespaces. So using system.data or data.sql client. Now I need to use some SQL data reader dr. I'm just initializing it to null. I want SQL command also, so I'm just initializing it to null. Now I can write one function over here to fetch the record. So instead of that, you can directly write in a search code. Just try catch block. Just write to handle the exception. Here you can display the exception if any exception comes. So you can take one label also here to display the exception. So this will be my label for just displaying the error messages. Just give the forecolor to red. And just remove this label. So here you can display the exception in label. So ex.message. Now in try, you have to call the get connection method from student DLL. So we have to create the object of connection class. Let's create its object equals to new connection class. Now I can be easily call that method obj.getConnection. So we have established the connection. Now initialize cmd equals to new SQL command with the parameters procedure name _, search student, the name of a procedure, and second parameter we required is connection object. So obj.con. Now see here, con is not accessible, so we need to just make that con as a public. So I come again to connection class, make this as public, and build this DLL again. Now here when we'll see second parameter, we need to pass as obj.con. So con is accessible now. Now we have to show that cmd dot the statement that you have written is of type store procedure. So dot store procedure. Next things we need to pass the parameter. So cmd dot parameters dot add. So parameter was for the procedure was student ID. Its data type was SQL db type dot int dot value equals to the text box, that value that you're going to pass. So text. So now this text value is string, so we need to convert to integer. It's the parameter that we have passed. Now the next statement is we have to open the connection. So obj.con.open. Then we have to take dr equals to cmd dot. We have to execute the statement now, so we require an execute reader method. Now once you are fetching that record, all the record comes into the dr. So now just use while dr.read, fetch all the records in a specific text boxes. So txt first value was text address. I think student name was there. Now text equals to dr of 0 dot to string. Second value is address dot text equals to dr of 1 dot to string. Third value is student add contact that we have to fetch. So text equals to dr of 2 dot to string. So all this, after fetching all these values, just close the connections. So obj.con.close. So that we have to just use all this code. In case of any exception, this will display in the LDL message. Now let's execute this page. So this page is my default.aspx page. If I'll put 1001, because this 1001 student ID is available, so when I'll click on search, it will display the data without error. Now if I'll search for 103, it will display the data of 1003. So that's it. Thank you.